The U.S. Justice Department is accusing ACLU lawyers of misleading them in the case of a 17-year-old pregnant immigrant who had an abortion. The teen, referred to as Jane Doe, was in government custody after illegally entering the U.S. in September. She had the abortion late last month after the full U.S. Court of Appeals ruled in her favor. But now the Justice Department has filed a petition with the Supreme Court. Justice reporter Paula Reid is in Washington and joins me now to talk about all this. So, Paula, what is the Justice Department now saying about the case?
Well, Vlad, as you remember, this was a case of enormous political significance. Here you had an undocumented, unaccompanied teen in federal custody seeking an abortion, and the Trump administration was not allowing people at the shelter to drive her to get this procedure. Now, the Justice Department alleges after the appeals court ruled in Jane Doe's favor, they allege that Doe's lawyers told them they had over 24 hours before she would actually have the procedure. So the Justice Department didn't file their inevitable appeal to the Supreme Court immediately. They waited. They thought they had more than a day. But after they told the government that, Jane Doe's lawyers allegedly switched her appointment to a 4 a.m. abortion, which would mean the procedure would be done before the Justice Department was even able to make a filing at the Supreme Court to try to stop this. So now the Justice Department is asking the Supreme Court to vacate all of the lower court rulings in Jane Doe's favor and also potentially discipline these attorneys.
So they filed a petition with the Supreme Court, Paula, but the teen already had the abortion. So what would this do?
Exactly. It will not change her situation or her request. Clearly, the procedure has been carried out. But going forward, it is likely we will see this situation again. There are, of course, unaccompanied minors coming across the border, and we are told by the ACLU that there are probably several hundred pregnant teens in federal custody in a similar situation. And if the Trump administration wants to take the stance that they should not be using federal resources to transport these girls to and from abortions, then we will see this go to court again. But what the Justice Department wants from this is they want all of the lower court rulings in her favor to be sort of wiped off the books. They argue it was not fair. They did not have their chance to go to the Supreme Court where they believe they would have prevailed and had a precedent in their favor.
So how unusual is this case and these actions taken by the DOJ?
It's so unusual. I mean, that's what's been so fascinating about this case. You have a circumstance, an unaccompanied teen coming across the border illegally in federal custody seeking an abortion. That was not so unusual. As I said, at any given time, there are several hundred teens in that situation. But the fact is the Trump administration has changed the way the government views these cases. They argue that even in a case like this where she had money for the procedure, they said they were not willing to allocate government resources to provide her with transportation to and from the procedure and also for care after the fact. So it is an unusual, it's a change in posture. The situation will absolutely arise again, and it remains to be seen whether next time it'll make it all the way to the Supreme Court, where, Vlad, I think it's a novel issue, and I'm really not sure which way they'd go.
All right, Paula Reid reporting for us from Washington. As always, Paula, great reporting. Thank you.